and welcome to another video. So today I am here with one of my favorite videos of the year. They're my favorites to watch, it's my favorite to film, and that is my 2022 planner lineup. I have really just pared down what I am bringing into 2022 versus what I brought into the past 2 or 3 years since I started planning. And that's primarily because there's I've started to find increasingly the things that I like and the things that I don't like, and I'm also not as I've realized I don't like having lots of planners. I don't like having things in multiple notebooks. I don't like taking out multiple notebooks. I don't like traveling with them. So as streamlined as possible is what I am aiming for in the upcoming years. So as you can see, I've only got 3 notebooks here, and we'll start with the one at the very top. So I found this in early August, and so it is the Passion Planner Daily. This is my current one. I've already started this one, but I will be bringing it into the new year because they're 3 months long, but they are undated. So I did not start my Passion Planner Daily at an even month. My first Passion Planner Daily I started in August 7th, and then I just keep rolling with it. So this one it started November 7th, and it's going to take me into the beginning of February. And I really like it. They recently updated their layout, so I will try to show you what I can. Something new to the new Passion Planner Dailies are a monthly view. Let's see. I can show you my monthlies. So I plan ahead in these monthlies. I just jot stuff down. Events only, not bills. Bills I keep in my catch-all, which I'll show you here in a second. Let's see, which I'll show you here in a second. And then this is January, so it's actually quite far out, which means there's not too much sensitive information here yet because specific things are still in the works. But at the beginning of every month, you get this month's game changer goal, and at the end you get a self check-in. This is the same for the last version of the daily planner. There's a similar version in the weekly planner. The self check-in has the prompts: what's on your mind, memorable moments, accomplishments I'm proud of, and how I've grown / biggest lessons. And then this month's game changer goal takes you through how to develop a goal and then map it out. I have not been using this. I just have nothing that I want to work on right now. I'm really focused on just maintaining the peace. I have everything in its place, mostly at home and at work, and I'm just trying to maintain it. And so I'm not looking to add anything new or change anything right now. But I do appreciate having those pages there should I decide that there's something specific I want to work on. At the end of the monthly section, you get a since you started this planner section. How has your year been so far? What has brought you the most challenge? What has brought you the most joy? And what do you want to dedicate more time to? And since I wasn't sure I was going to do a flip through, I'll just go back and actually show you some of the intro pages. Things that just introduce the planner. You do get a year at a glance here, and I've started to use it as a bill tracker. And then you jump into the daily pages. Alright, this is a page that I will show you parts of. Basically, the way I lay out my stuff here is that every Monday I put the weekly overview printable to keep track of timed events. I always have a to-do list. I always keep track of my schedule, and then I journal in the space of infinite possibility, and then I just decorate in all the space around it. And that's it. And I do that basically every day. This is a date. This is a day that I haven't done yet. This is tomorrow actually. And so I've decorated all of these things. I've left space during the hours that I'm most likely to do something to kind of keep track of what I plan to do. I fill these in as prompted, so I don't change anything about them. There's a space for self-maintenance, the best thing that happened, today I learned, today in one word, and then your mood. I really like this notebook. So at the end, you just have daily pages. Every page is the same. At the very end, you get some bonus notes pages, and this is where I've brought my reading journal. So if you saw I don't know which video is going to go up first, but if you have seen or will see my reading challenge setup for the winter creating a co-reading challenge, I introduced this idea. I've moved out of having my reading tracking in a separate bullet journal completely. I still have it, and like I used most of the pages, pretty chunky, but I've started to do my book journaling at the end of this daily. So I've got one entry here. I just set up my winter reading challenge, and then I'll just enter any books that I read here for the 3 months that I'm in this notebook. And then recently they had a pre-Black Friday sale where I bought like 2 or 3 more daily journals, and this is going to be one more planners in the new year. The next planner that I have is a Passion Planner Weekly. This is the Space of Infinite Possibilities cover, and I really love it. I've done some setup in this, and it's got 2022 embossed on the side. This is going to be my weekly and my catch-all. So this is where I do like future planning and where I just kind of keep a week at a glance. I like being able to see, especially now that I have a part-time job outside of my regular school hours, chunks of time throughout the week that are taken up by this job, because my hours aren't always exactly the same. And so I like being able to time block those out so that I know what time I have for anything else I need to do. This is a hardcover, but it's also kind of squishy. And then every Passion Planner, like some amount of it goes towards a cause. So purchasing this planner added a donation to Code 2040. It says Code 2040's mission is to activate, connect, and mobilize the largest racial equity community in tech to dismantle the structural barriers that prevent the full participation and leadership of Black and Latinx people in the innovation economy. I don't know a ton about them, but that blurb seems pretty nifty. And this is a 2022 dated Monday Star planner. I haven't done any of the like prep work stuff. I don't know if I'm going to, but they give you the passion roadmap, how to create a plan here. And then we've got some of the setup. So you had a 2022 and a 2023 year at a glance. I've only kept the 2022. So the way I'm going to use this is I've got this here and I've just highlighted important birthdays at a glance. That's it. I don't even need to know whose it is because I remember them well enough to know, like for the people whose birthdays I keep track of, if I know on a certain date there's a birthday, I'll know whose it is. But I want to know when they're coming up. Like for example, September is wild. September and then like October, late October. Both my boyfriend and I have a lot of birthdays in the family. So I'm keeping track of that up here. I'm going to use this for future planning, so just to jot down appointments. And then I've got this year in pixels that I have color coded to be a mood tracker. This is going to be pulled straight from my Passion Planner daily and just put in here so that I can keep track of trends. And then also a period tracker right there. And these symbols are going to be put on top of the color. So the color says the mood, and then the symbol says all that stuff. Alrighty. Then I started to outline how I'm going to use the monthly. So this is what it looks like. It starts on Monday, which is really weird. Some people like really enjoy that if their weekly starts on Monday, then the monthly should start on Monday. That is not how my brain works. In my head, a standard calendar, like a monthly calendar, starts on Sunday, but my week personally starts on Monday. So I enjoy when the calendar starts on a Sunday, even if the weeklies are on Monday. So this is going to take some getting used to, and we will see how this goes. How many days I get mixed up because Sunday is over here instead of over here. But you've got this month's focus box for both personal and work tasks, a box for people to see that I'm planning to use to keep track of when I've called my family, because sometimes I just like forget to call and then I realize that it's been a couple weeks, and that's kind of crazy. Then I've got this thing that says places to go. I'm just going to use that as a list for errands to be done, right? So when I need to go to the grocery store, if we need to change the oil, get the tires looked at, whatever. Down here, things to learn. I'm actually going to keep track of my to be read list here. probably 3 to 5 books in the month that I am going to work on reading. Then down here, personal and work projects, I'll ultimately be covering that up and use it for YouTube video tracking, possibly some Instagram tracking as well. We shall see. The monthly I use for events and bill tracking. And then down here, I want to use the space of, this isn't the space of infinite possibility in the monthly. It's actually a place to create a mind map of this month's game changer goal. I'm going to use it to track my hours at my goals, how much I work each week down here. Then I added these tabs. These are not the flush tabs. They have tabs that go right up against the page and tabs that stick out. I got the tabs that stick out in the black. They're glossy and they seem pretty sturdy. Like, I thought they were just going to be a sticker, but they're like laminated or glossy or something. So that surprised and impressed me. And then I've got the weekly. So I have been using the printables now for, I don't know, like a couple months maybe, and I really enjoy them. So I already had some idea of how I was going to use the weekly pages in here. Basically, I put what I'm reading this week in this box. Meals of the week could go over here instead of a work to-do list because I don't like to put too many work tasks in my personal planners. Personal to-do list to use as is, and then they have a spending tracker printable that I have been pasting over here, and I really enjoy using that as well. It keeps me on track with my budget like more effectively than anything I've used up to this point because it's right there. It's very easy to update and it's just week by week. I also like that there aren't frills in this planner. You don't have like heavy duty dividers or lots of dashboard pages or anything. You just got the weeks and then a month. And then the only extra thing that this planner has is this monthly reflection section that I'm going to use as is. So the prompts are, what was the most memorable part of this past month? Describe it. What were the 3 biggest lessons you've learned this past month? Review your planner for the past month and assess your priorities. Are you happy with how you spent your time? If not, what steps can you take next month to adjust them? What did you accomplish this past month? What are you most proud of? How are you different between this past month and the month before it? What or who are you especially grateful for this past month? And then name 3 things you can improve on this upcoming month. What concrete actions can you take to work towards these improvements? And then from 1 to 10, how do you feel overall about this past month? And then an end of month checklist to go back to your passion roadmap and just kind of update things and make sure you're on track. And then you start the new month. So I've got it tabbed on the monthly, but there are these like shaded marks for every page, and so you could have put the tabs wherever you want. All right, so we go all the way back. This goes through December. Right, and actually you get the first day of January 2023 because the month of December ends on a Saturday. Last monthly reflection. And then an end of the year reflection. So these prompts are, from 1 to 10, how do you feel overall about this past year? What advice would you give yourself at the beginning of the year? What were the 3 biggest lessons you learned? What is one way to incorporate these into your life? Review your planner for the past year and assess your priorities. So it's very similar to the monthly reflection, except now you're looking at the year as a whole. And then we get to the back pages where I have made some printables for myself that I have set up. So this I actually got from PassionPlanner. This isn't a printable I made, but it is the book tracker, this time for the medium notebook, just like what I have in my daily for now, because I am going to be using this primarily in 2022 instead. So this is just where I can list the books that I've read, the date, the title, the author, and my rating. And then I made these pages for entries and reviews. This has 32 spaces, I believe, and so I put 32 of these in there. Will I read more than 32 books? Likely, I usually do, but then I'll just add another book tracker and keep going later. So for now, I've set up space for 32 books. And the way I've set up my review logs is I just have the title, the author, the dates read, and my thoughts. And then I changed papers for this last part, and this paper is like really bad. I kind of hate it, and I don't know why it's so wrinkly. I cannot. But it's here now, so I guess I'm just gonna work with it. I've also got a few different trackers at the back. So here I've got just a page for movies. So the movie title, when I watched it, and my rating. So I've got 5 boxes, 1 to 5 stars essentially, but I didn't want to get like too involved in the editing of this page. Then I've got a space for TV shows, when I started the TV show, finished it, and how many seasons of it I watched. I have a page for favorite meals and just a bulleted list to keep track of that for when my boyfriend and I are like, wow, we've had the same dish for like the past 2 weeks, what else can we make? And then the very last thing I set up is a gift tracker for people that my boyfriend and I typically give gifts to. I've got their space for their birthday and Christmas, what we'll get them, about what our budget is, etc. And I still have plenty of space. So these are all blank pages, which is primarily why I went the printables route, because I didn't want to have to draw on a completely blank space. I was not going to be able to space things out the way I wanted to. You get about 10 or 20 of those, I forget. And then you go into dot grid. And so the rest of this is dot grid. And then you've got the bookmarks at the back and a pocket that comes with like a welcome letter and stuff. There we are. So I'm super excited about this. Basically, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm already doing in my Happy Planner since I started pasting in PassionPlanner printables. So yeah, that's going to be my weekly. And then the very last planner that I'm going to be taking into next year is my Erin Condren teacher planner, which I did not expect to love as much as I do. It has, I don't know, it's taken like the first year I ever taught, I used an Erin Condren teacher planner, and it was fine, but it was too big. It's the same planner, it's the same size, but my desk situation has changed since I moved schools, and I have the space for this on my desk, and I really enjoy it. Last year I used a similarly sized planner. It was just a little thinner, and it had too much wasted space. I didn't like it. It's in my last planner lineup video. At the time, I really enjoyed it because it wasn't the colorful Erin Condren, but this is like the best of both worlds. All right, this is the teacher focused planner, which only came with a leather faux leather cover, and I actually cut that off and replaced it with this Star Wars interchangeable cover and haven't gone back. I hated the faux leather. This is so good. Look at it. It's just a grid. These are just lines to lesson plan, and I love it. And I've actually changed how I use this. I used to have like the planner I prepped lessons in, and I just like blocked out, okay, this day we're going to work on this topic, this day we're going to work on this topic, etc. And then in a separate spot I had my to-dos for the day. Grade this, grade that, prep that, make these copies, I have this meeting, etc. Now I put it all in the same spot, and it is amazing. So this is how I set up a week. Yes, I can show this. All right. So it's going to be hard to fit, but basically I've got just the dates here, right? And then across I have the times that my day is broken up into. So I've got the first period of the day, the second period of the day, lunch, third and fourth periods of the day. Then I have the afternoon and a list for this week. I highlight the spaces where I have my free period or a study hall. In this case, I supervise a study hall, but it's still mostly free because the students are working on their own stuff and I can move around and prep things for other classes. Then I color code each section of each class. I teach 4 sections of classes, 2 algebra 2, 2 physics. I keep track of the day that class is meeting. Like this is the 42nd day that I've met with my B block algebra 2 class. And I love this because then that means that when I'm working next year to plan, I can see, okay, day 42, last year, if I'm teaching Algebra 2 again, we were on 4-9. We were talking about quadratic systems. This year, where are we? Are we behind? Are we ahead? How's it going? I've never kept track of the days like this before, and I love it. What else? Oh, and then I have a space here for lunch. So sometimes I have lunch meetings. Sometimes there are things I really need to do over lunch to get ready for the afternoon classes. And so I'll mark those here. But lunch is just an hour, and it's not a ton of time. So I only have 3 bullet points, right? Things that like really have to get done. Then in the afternoon, classes end at 3. My contract hours don't end until 4, so I have a longer list. I mean, it's still just an hour, but it's not as hectic. Students have started to leave, unlike lunch. So I just jot, and I could stay later if I want, but I just jot down all of the little things I need to get done by the afternoon. Things I need to grade, things I need to prep. Really, that's my whole life. Those are all the things. Or if I have a meeting, I'll mark that here. So I remember, okay, don't plan to prep that this afternoon because you have a meeting and you won't have time to do it. I love that. And then things that I want to work on this week, or just tasks that don't have to get done urgently, but I don't want to forget about, they go there. And this has changed my life. I love this so much. And so I've just set it up in advance. I've set it up through the end of this rotation. Let's see. Or sorry, this semester. Yeah, so this is the first week. This is going to be next week, right after Thanksgiving break. And then the week after, and then we have 1 more week, and then it's winter break. And I just whited everything out here in case I wanted to jot down notes or like a list of things to accomplish over the break or anything like that. I just whited everything out. So it's winter break. And then in January, I started a completely different class, and I've started to sticky note things in there. I still have the breakdown of the day across the top, my to-dos, and this week. And I'm very excited about it. So that is it. These are the 3 planners that I am going to use in 2022. I'm shocked that they're all kind of blue because look, I'm wearing a pink sweater. Pinks are usually what I gravitate towards. But here we are. These dark blues. Definitely let me know down in the comments below what you are going to plan in this year, or at least how you're going to start the upcoming new year. I would love to know. Just planner lineups are my favorite things to like talk about and think about. So it's a fun time. So let me know that down in the comments, and if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.